Hey guys, this is Brian, aka Dr. Denim, and today I'm bringing you a video showing you how I make over $10,000 each month selling pre-owned clothing on eBay. I want to give you 10 tips or 10 tricks that will help you increase your eBay business if you so choose to. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. As you can see on my sales tab, over the past 31 days, I'm at 15,000 and change. So I'm actually pretty well over the $10,000 per month mark, and I'm actually closing in on $20,000 per month. And I sell almost exclusively pre-owned clothing and pre-owned shoes. These are items I find at garage sales, thrift stores, flea markets, estate sales, you name it. So it's very doable because we live in a country where of excess and people are just getting rid of this stuff. So if you look over the past year, and I'm just kind of giving this background information just to validate that what I'm saying is true, and obviously there are bigger sellers out there that make way more than I make, but I did quit teaching about a year ago and went full time, and over the past year you can see my total sales on eBay have been over $130,000, which is up 228%. And that's how we want to evaluate ourselves. We don't want to get caught up in the day-to-day, week-to-week, even month-to-month, because there's a lot of fluctuations on eBay. You want to look at over year-to-year and consistently raise that. All right, number 10, and I'm going to go from all 10 of these are important, and there's more to it than these 10, but I just brainstormed the top 10. And I'm going to go from the 10th and finish at number one. And number one, I think, is probably the most important one. So make sure you stick around all the way till the very end if you want to help increase your eBay sales. All right. At number 10, I would say you need to take good photos. Well, what are good photos? Let's look at this listing right here I have. This is a pair of boots. I have a good photo has a clear, either a white background, maybe a gray background, because you want the item to either pop and or to show it in its true condition with its true colors. So what I do with shoes is I use an app called Photo Room on my phone, and it quickly removes the background. It does a great job, and as you can see right here. And then the rest of my pictures, just to save time, I have a photo set up with this faux wood background, and I take 10 to 12 photos, which is also important because the more photographs that you take, it's better for the buyer, for them to be able to see the item from different angles, and it will also rank you higher in the eBay algorithm. So make sure you're taking good photos. You can use your smartphone. You can use a standalone camera. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure you're taking good photos. All right, the number 9 tip I have for you on how to grow your eBay sales is to create good titles. Well, obviously the question is, what makes a good title? And previously at the previous eBay Open, eBay actually told us how to do this, and this is the format they want. The format they want. They say on clothing to do the brand, what is it, the gender, the size, and then all your other keywords. Now, sometimes there are exceptions to this rule because you also want to think about how a buyer is searching for something. And if there is a keyword that is very crucial to how you think somebody would search, not somebody, how you think most people would search, then you may want to move that keyword. But in general, this is the format. So for example, on these boots, excuse me, the brand is Santana Canada. What it is boots. The gender is women's. The size is 6.5 M. And then I put the other keywords. It's black, it's leather, has fleece lining, and it's winter wear. So that's an example of how to write a good title. You could also search in the eBay search bar for different items. And here, let me show you real quick. Let me open up this tab. So let's say, for example, you're looking, let's type in Tommy Bahama. And what you will see is that eBay, the algorithm will give you suggestions, and these are based on search criteria. So Tommy Bahama is most often being searched for in the men's category, men's clothing, then women's clothing. And then here are the things, a beach chair. So you right here, you can see the most common size of Tommy Bahama is probably an extra large. Shirt shows up, silk shirt shows up, a dress, a t-shirt, a polo, for example. And the more you put in, it'll keep refining it. So if we put Tommy Bahama shirt, right? And then it gives us these size options. And let's put men's. And then it gives us more, right? Men's extra large, large. So these are going to be the highest searched items. So, so when you're creating your title, it's always good to have a tab, and you can search for that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on up. The eighth tip I have for you is to make sure you put it in the correct category, right? Sometimes this is a no-brainer. Like in this case, the women's shoes, boots, it doesn't give you a lot of options, but let's say, for example, you're listing an NFL jersey. Some people may put that by default into the men's clothing, but it's gonna show up higher in search results in the pro shop, the NFL pro shop, or the NFL category. So pay attention to these categories. Sometimes, like if it's an item and it'll give you multiple suggested categories. Typically the one that's at the top, like if this had 2 or 3 or 4 different suggested categories, typically the one that's at the top is the best category to go with. All right, so pay attention to your categories. My 7th tip for you to increase your sales is to pay attention to your item specifics, right? You have a good title, you have the correct category, you have good pictures. Now here are your item specifics. Under required, you must have all of these filled out. Make sure they're correct. Also, don't create a style or an item specific that is not in the drop down menu, because when people are searching, sometimes they use this left-hand navigation in search, and if you create a category, that is not going to show up. So maybe, for example, in this, maybe I think this should be what is the category? The style should be a winter boot. Well, winter boot is not an option. So I'm going to pick the best one, which is shearling style, because you have like this fleece, this shearling, and you want to pick the closest one. And they're not always 100% matched. Like for example, on men's hiking boots, and I've even contacted eBay on this, and they said that supposedly working on it, there is not a style for hiking boots in that category, but we do the best we can. Upper material is leather, the type is boot, US shoe size 6.5, colors black, departments women's. Now, these recommended, some people, like you see my blue bar is not fully filled out. You do not have to fully fill out the blue bar. Don't believe that. Fill out the recommended item specifics as best as you can if it pertains to your category. UK shoe size, I fill this out. I have a chart where I look it up if and it's a 4, because guess what? Someone in the UK may be looking to buy this. I have international orders that I ship out every single day. So there are people shopping worldwide. Character, we click boots, even though actually this one doesn't make sense. This is like character of like Aquaman. So I think we're talking about boots as a character. So that one doesn't really even make sense. So I could take that one out. AU shoe size I do not put. I put US, UK, and European. The shoe shaft style I fill out mid-calf. I put the wedge. I put the heel height. I fill out the occasion, the lining material, the EU size, the toe shape, the model. It's lined. Fabric type is fleece. The country it's made in is Canada. The shoe width is medium. In the season. So I fill out a lot of information, but I don't fill out everything, and it's going to vary these recommended item specifics from category to category or niche to niche, which is another reason, and I don't have this in my top 10 list, and I probably should have put this, so here's a bonus one. I think it's personally really important to niche down and to not try to sell everything. I used to be an everything seller, and about a year ago, before I niched down into clothing and shoes, I made about $5,000 per month, which isn't bad, but I basically tripled my sales because I'm able to focus in one category and I'm able to learn that category, learn those item specifics, learn those titles, learn that pricing and all this good stuff. So here's a bonus tip for you, not in the top 10, it should have been, is to, if you really want to grow your sales, niche down to one category if at all possible. All right, so now we have the item specifics. We have the item description, which I just copy and paste the title, and I will put my shipping policy, fast shipping, same or next day. Nothing fancy there. Number 6, my 6th tip for you is to price it correctly. You can have all your other things done, but guess what? If you price it too high, no one's going to buy it. There's a market for it. And eBay gives us several tools. One of my favorite tools for pricing is Terapeak. And you can find it in the Seller Hub. If you go under research Terapeak product research, type in what you have. I've already done this ahead of time. It's Santana Canada boots. Last 365 days, the last year, because winter boots are going to fluctuate in sales and price during the summer and winter. So I want to look at it over the past year. I've selected pre-owned under the condition filter, and it gives me this data. The average sold price is 35 and change, and it's gone anywhere as low as 99 cents. That was probably on an auction. Don't do auctions, guys. All the way up to $167, and it gives you the average sold price. Like, wow, one sold on the 23rd. That was the high price. You can sort this by average sold price if you want to. Look at this low one. Somebody got a great deal there. You can look at the high pricing, which is kind of good to see what stuff is going for on the top end. And what I typically like to do is I'll look quickly at the top. If I'm unfamiliar, then I will sort by date sold, most recent, because this is the most recent sales data. And you can see that those sold for 16. That sold too cheap. That sold too cheap. This looks like it's priced right at $49, $167. $40, etc., $60. So it's the average sale price is $35.92. Some sell higher, some sell lower. I have experience with these boots. I've sold these between 40 to 70. So I'm going to list it at $59.99. I do run, which we'll talk about sales in a little bit. I do take offers and I do run sales. So I want to give myself a little wiggle room. Tongue twister there for me. All right. So make sure you're pricing. Now, for example, if I had this thing priced at like $99.99, it may take a long time to sell. So be careful on your pricing. All right, top 10 tips to increase your sales. The 5th tip I have for you is returns. I know, and I've done a video on returns. I know returns can be a hassle. Check out my previous video on how to handle those false returns. There are resources you have. But here's the thing. The way eBay is set up, if a buyer wants to return an item, even if you have no returns, they can be dishonest about the reason, and eBay will allow them to return it to you. So avoid all that hassle. Offer free returns. I typically do 60-day free returns on my clothing, and I do 30-day free returns on my shoes. The reason I do less on my shoes is because I just don't want somebody to run in a pair of shoes for 2 months and then return it. But clothing, I'll do 60-day free returns. And this is what happens. When you do free returns, somebody wants to return it, fine. I take returns for any reason. Just select the correct reason, return it. I do charge shipping when they buy it. So with a free return, I pay for the return shipping back. So those basically wash out. If it's a sizing problem or they didn't like it, no harm, no foul. I get it in, check it in, refund them the money, move on, relist it, and it'll sell again. Because if it's sold once, it'll sell again. Probably actually for even more money. And here are the other benefits that you get with free returns. It typically lowers the percentage of people who are going to be dishonest about the returns, because a lot of people are used to sellers not doing returns, so they will lie about the reason. If they do a false INAD, item not as described, when you get it back, you can actually report the buyer, which I do. I did 2 last week. You can deduct the original shipping, and you can even, if you're a top rated seller, deduct up to 50% of the sell price. Like, say for example, it's a new item, they used it, it's no longer new, you can deduct 50% of that refund and keep it. It also allows you to have feedback protection. If they give you a negative feedback and you offer free returns, it is very easy to get eBay to remove that, to remove that negative feedback, and you also get a 10% final value fee credit on your on your monthly account, so that you're getting money back in your pocket. And one last thing, this is also really important for the free returns. It's better for the customer, and it's in the eBay quality listing report, which by the way, I have a video on that. And if eBay measures it, the algorithm also measures it. And if you offer the free returns, you're going to outrank someone typically that does not offer free returns. Of course, there are a whole lot of factors there, pricing, other things, but it is one of those factors. And everything else being equal, free returns is going to outrank not free returns. So consider using free returns. All right. Next tip on how to increase your sales. My 4th tip is shipping. Okay. I charge shipping. I don't do free shipping. I charge shipping because I have unique items. I'm not selling new items where there's a lot of competition. Like these boots, this specific boot in this specific size, in this specific style, there's not going to be very many of them on eBay. So with unique items, I found that you can charge shipping. Like on this, these are winter boots. They're probably going to ship in a 12 by 12 by 8. They probably weigh about 3 to 4 pounds, so I'm charging $14.99 anywhere in the US. And handling time, I do same day shipping. If you can handle your shipping, I recommend you do 1-day shipping or same day shipping. My same day shipping time is cut off at 6 a.m. So that still qualifies as same day shipping. That allows you to be top rated seller. That gives you a lot of benefits, higher search placement in the search algorithm. And especially this time of year when people are wanting their items quickly, you know, they're going to prefer a same day shipper over somebody that takes 3 or 4 days to ship out their item. I also ship worldwide, which is another valuable thing there. All right. By the way, if you find this content useful, helpful, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want more content like this. The 3rd tip I have for you is to use eBay's promoted listings. What promoted listings is, it's right here, is you can select this and you can set your ad rate, the percentage you want to spend. They suggest the ad rate at this at 6.5. And what that does is eBay's going to push your item typically up higher in the search results. Of course, once again, there's a lot of other variables, but this is a big one. And when it sells, you then pay, in this case, if I did 6.5%, then eBay would get an extra 6.5%. This is a good tool to help you sell your item faster. Me personally, I don't use this right when I list an item, because when you first list an item, you get a strong initial search boost. And to me, it's good for about 30 days. So each morning I look at my items that are 1 month old or older, and I will then promote those at a certain percentage. I'm not going to tell you here because it's going to vary between how much you want to spend, how fast you want your items to sell, what categories you're in. There's a lot of factors. Of course, you can look at the suggested ad rate as a guide. I can tell you I've played around with the suggested ad rate. Well, not the suggested ad rate. the promoted listings rate, and I found my sweet spot. And that's just something you're going to have to figure out. But use promoted listings if you want to sell your items faster. All right, next up, the number 2 tip I have for you is to use eBay's promotions. Right here under marketing, if you click on promotions, they give you a lot of tools. The two probably, well, the three I would recommend is number 1, create a daily coupon, which you could do it right here under marketing promotions. Create a coupon. I have coupons running each day. You type in your coupon code. You do it public. If you want it to be seen by anyone on eBay, you can do it private. If you just want to send it maybe to previous buyers of yours, you can set the percentage, a maximum savings, all your inventory, or you can pick specific items or categories, create your title, select a photo and how long you want it to run, and then you would launch it. I already have a coupon open right now, so I'm not going to launch another one. But I do this regularly. Actually, I do this daily. Okay, so use their promotions. Another good promotion is their markdown manager. I currently have a sale going. Let's see here. If we look under active, and then we can look under sale event plus markdown, and then you can see I have a 20% off sale currently. This is off my entire store. Everything is 20% off. That's going to boost you up higher in the eBay algorithm as well. So use your promotions. One other promotion I use is I allow best offers, which you can see. Let me see where we're at. It's under the pricing. So I'm pricing it at $59.99. I check this box because a lot of buyers on eBay want to make offers. Let the buyer make an offer. You can set an auto accept and an auto decline. Auto accept would be fine. I would not recommend personally doing an auto decline because anytime you decline an offer, that in my eyes, that's telling eBay you're not serious. If they send you a lowball offer, don't get emotional about it. Just counter at the price that you're willing to sell it for. Because every time you get an offer, even if it's a lowball offer on your item, that is telling the eBay algorithm that this item is desired. And that's also going to boost you up in the algorithm. Okay? So consider using best offers. All right. And my number 1 tip, and by the way, here's some items that have sold. See, this sold via promoted listings. This one sold with a 10% off coupon and a promoted listing. So you can see that these things do convert. The number 1 tip I have for you though, in order to increase your sales, this is coming from a full-time reseller doing over $10,000 a month in sales. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that to kind of validate the advice I'm giving you. Of course, there are lots of ways you can run your store. Just consider some of these suggestions. Take the ones you think might work and test these things out yourself. And as I asked previously, if you find this content valuable, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. But my number 1 tip, eBay rewards daily activity. My store has over 6,000 items in it, and I list daily. I would seriously encourage you to list daily. We've studied this in Tech and Sport and Daily Refinements group, which I'm a member of. And those who list daily have consistent sales results over time. It doesn't matter if you're listing 1 daily, 5 daily, 50 daily, 100 daily. Well, of course it matters as far as your sales, but whatever goal or time that you have that works with your schedule, list that same amount daily. If you have more time, build what we call a bank draft, which means you create a listing, but you don't launch it live. Let's say your goal is 5 listings live 7 days a week, right? Let's say one day you're able to get 20 listings up. Instead of listing all 20, list your 5, save the other 15 as a draft bank. That way, if you need some time off, if you have an emergency, your kid is sick, if you want to take the day off, like Thanksgiving was yesterday, if you're going on a vacation, you can build up that bank draft and get your daily listings hit. I learned that lesson the hard way. My bank draft was not where it needed to be. And this past week, I've missed several days of listing consistently. And before this week, I had not missed a day of listing probably since January. So I'm a little upset with myself. I'm building up my bank draft. I want at least 2 weeks of drafts banked, and that will allow you to take some time off and still get your listings up and still get those sales in daily. Well, that's what I have for you today. I hope you appreciated this. And good luck. Let's implement those tips. If you have a tip, comment below. Tell me what's a good tip that you have as far as growing your sales. And we'll see you guys on the next video.